Hi, this is Mrs. Savage. Mr. Bebo and Mrs. Best have told me that you're getting ready to research inventions of the Industrial Revolution, so I prepared this tutorial to help you with your research, specifically to find the best quality information for your particular topic. We're going to cover a few things today, some of which will be familiar, some of which will be a review, and some of which might be new to you. We're going to cover the online library card catalog and how best to use it, WebPath Express, which are high-quality internet sites, your reference suite, which is on your laptop, and also some primary source information, which I will explain later. To begin with, the first thing you want to do is go to Middle School of the Kennebunks webpage, which you are seeing in front of you, and you want to go either departments, you can get there, to libraries right here, or another option for entering that is, I believe, down here under Information and Resources. Doesn't really matter which way you go in. Either way will get you there. You're going to be presented with all the choices of our district libraries that are on this program, and we are in Middle School of the Kennebunks, so that is where we will go. The first thing you're going to come to is the library homepage, right over here on the left tab. We will skip this for the moment. We will come back to this a little later. It has some helpful links on it. Again, we will come back to it. But what you want to do is click over here on this catalog tab. Now, Mrs. Best, I asked her for some topics, and she said one of the topics was Ferris wheel. So let's type that in. Okay, and notice I made it plural. We could easily try it as a Ferris wheel versus Ferris wheels, but let's see what happens. You always click on keyword. Ignore these other buttons, okay? Keyword does the broadest possible search for you, and you always want to use that. Okay, we got two results for Middle School of the Kennebunks. The first one is a book, a nonfiction book. We know that because it has a number in the address and the call number. And then we have a fiction book down here, which also has something to do with Ferris wheels. That's why the item was retrieved in your search. So let's go into the details for Ferris wheels. Okay. And it gives us an overview. It gives us the call number up here, where it is on the shelf, the authors, the title, one of one copies available. It says traces the history and influence of the Ferris wheel since 1893, when the first giant steel wheel, the invention of engineer George Ferris, was constructed for the Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Now, it's worth reading the summary, one, to decide if it's worth your while to get the book, but secondly, it's going to give you some other key words. So I think what's important to focus on is you have your Ferris wheels here as keywords, but here is another set of keywords that will be helpful in your searching. George Ferris, okay? Another set of keywords, Columbian Exposition in Chicago, right over here. These are wonderful things to, so you might want to jot those down or put them on a desktop post-it note to help you in your search. It's sort of like a little bit like a detective experience. You're sort of adding keywords as you go, as you find them. Now, I want to point something out down here. When you go into these, there's a couple of choices. You have Ferris wheels, WebPath Express. Now that will take you directly to high-quality internet sites about your topic, okay? So you have 6 results, Ferris wheel. You know, you can Google. There's nothing wrong with Googling, but Googling brings back thousands and thousands and thousands of results. The great thing about WebPath Express is it's made for students. It's made for research. They are picking out the high-quality sites for you. If you remember from 6th grade, a .edu is an educational institution. For instance, we have MIT. Of course, you know about MIT down in Massachusetts. Obviously going to provide you with high quality, reliable information about the Ferris wheel. So we will just go to that to see if we, okay. So you have Inventor of the Week, George Ferris, the Ferris wheel, okay. So it'll give you a little bit of information down here. There's that Columbian Exposition of 1893, the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Again, you know, you're picking out keywords to help you continue on your searching with this. Okay, so let's close that out. I'm not going to visit every website that it brought up. And we're going to use our little breadcrumb trail up here. Remember we talked about this, Hansel and Gretel leaving breadcrumbs in the forest to find their way back. Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back to Ferris wheels. Okay. Now, I want to show you when you do your initial library search. Let's try that again. I'm just curious. I'm going to see if we get anything different when I put in Ferris wheel versus Ferris wheels. Same result, okay? But you know what? It's always worth trying it, both singular and plural, if you get stuck. Another path to WebPath Express. Over here you see titles that came back and also websites. Okay, so it's just another way to reach that WebPath Express. Now, another invention Mrs. Best mentioned was automobiles. Automobiles is very broad, okay, or cars, very, very broad. You're going to get a lot of stuff that may not really be what you're looking for. If you happen to know an important car of the Industrial Revolution, like the Model T, oops, see, I didn't spell it, so I'm going to have to go back and make sure I spell it correctly. The computer might help me with the spelling, it might not. So if you're not getting the results, check your spelling. Ask your teacher, ask the librarian. Okay, searched for Model T in Middle School of the Kennebunks. And, okay, well here's some interesting things. This is a DVD. So probably, those are for teacher use, probably not really a resource unless your teacher wants to check it out for you to use. Okay, this looks promising. The 1900s Decade in Photos, a decade of discovery. That's kind of the time period that we're looking at. Sometimes we will get a cover of the book, sometimes not, but let's click on that. Okay, influential people, events, and cultural developments of the 1900s. Well, you know what? I'm thinking there's probably a great amount of information in that book. So what you want to do is go in and, you know, even by just browsing through the book, here's the call number again, you might be able to get some really good keywords to search on some more. If you happen to know, see here's, aha. Let's go down to additional information. Again, this is like detective work. You need to like take, you know, instead of just clicking, you need to take a moment to read and think, okay? So under additional information, there's some detail on this book. And it says Henry Ford mass produces the Model T. Okay, another set of keywords. Henry Ford mass produces or mass production, okay? Those are important key phrases for your search. Let's go back, again, using our breadcrumb trail. Okay, we went back to our search results, but hey, now we would like to actually, we know Henry Ford is an important part of the early automobiles, so let's try Henry Ford, okay? And again, keyword, guys. Okay, Henry Ford, lots of biographies. Aha, I don't know. Tin Lizzie is kind of a nickname for some of the early cars. I know that just because I know it, but again, another set of keywords that might be helpful. Lots of books about Henry Ford and early automobile production, okay? I want to point this out. This is a reference book here, so it doesn't leave the library, but you could certainly take a look at it. Age of Technology. Ooh, 19th century American inventors. Very promising. So it's like a little trail. One thing might lead you to another. It gives us some important people of the Industrial Revolution. Eli Whitney, Thomas Edison, others. So there's really two approaches you can take. You can take your specific invention, or you can take, if you happen to get the name of that person, you can try pursuing their name. So we've kind of played around with the catalog a little bit. I did want to show you that, and I wanted to show you the WebPath Express. Let's go back and see if there were any WebPath Express results up here. Aha, websites. Okay, perfect. Life of Henry Ford. We've got 30 results. Again, you can Google, but these are the high quality ones. The henryford.org. I was out there this summer. It's a museum out in Michigan, and it's a fabulous resource. So I strongly encourage you to use these WebPath Express results because, you know, the stuff is just really great. If you're having trouble, you know, with your keywords, ask Mrs. Best, ask Mr. Bebo. I know they know their subject matter so well that they could certainly give you some suggestions for keyword searching. Okay, so we've covered both the card catalog and the WebPath Express. I'd like to show you what's called, I'm going to minimize this for a minute. I'd like